so many times in cases like that, and you wonder, well, why didn't the family get a settlement? A lot of times there's problems behind the scenes, that cause issues. But anyway, if you find yourself in trouble, need a legal representation, get a hold of me, and I can put you in touch with Keith M. Davidson, kmdlaw.com, our great sponsor. I can help you put together a little case summary for you. Okay, let's see what's going on here. My notes. Hey, I got a lot on my mind, but not well prepared. I got to tell you, everything right now is so upside down. This whole shutdown and quarantine and social distancing and the new normal. I was even watching a commercial of one of these big companies said, things are going to get back to normal, but they're going to be a little bit different. And then they show like a guy in a white lab coat standing next to people at work. I'm so exhausted by this, like everyone else is. Just exhausting. And cautious. I have a lot of cautious skepticism, soberly. I'm not running around yammering about 5G, all kinds of nonsense, like so many are. So many irresponsible people are, man. Let me see if I get that done right. Nope, I screwed that up. One sec. Hey, a couple of things came to my mind this week, and one is, can you ever think of a time in history where the capitalists did something for the benefit of the average worker? Like we're being told that the reason why they're shutting down businesses and they're shutting down and social distancing is for our benefit, for the benefit of our health and well-being. But they don't care any other time, like for universal health care, or they don't even care to make things more convenient for you or easier for you when you go to the DMV and have to wait online and pay your tax to these people, for them to take money out of your pocket and give it to them. They don't even make that efficient for our benefit. What have they ever done to benefit the average person? Really nothing. Some people came up with some examples for me, when I was talking about this. And some people just totally misunderstood the question when I was bringing this up on social media earlier this week. But it just seems to me that if they're doing this, their interest cannot be, we want to save lives of American people, and throughout history, even just a short time ago, 70 years ago, 60 years ago, we had little kids working in coal mines and sweatshops and factories, under slavery conditions. We had slavery in this country. So we had little slavery conditions, but we had slaves. So it's not like they have some kind of concern for the human, life or the quality of human life. So it can't suddenly that this is the time that they care about us and they're doing this for our own benefit. It has to be more of a big, giant economic shift where things are going to be more streamlined to benefit the power, the owners of us, our slave owners, using more of Amazon and shipping and deliveries and stuff like that, people working from home, and people not talking to each other in public and, staying apart as much as possible. Maybe that's part. Maybe that part of that is to cause population decrease, population growth. Birth of babies. Keep more people single and alone and lonely, and depressed and miserable. Because that's all I seem to see. I see a lot more people snapping at each other too lately, over little things. I don't even want to get into it, but just seeing a lot more of that, and it's this concerning. It's concerning. That's the word I'm looking for. And never before have we had such blatantly incompetent leadership. And I know everyone will say, well, Ed, your hatred of Trump has you blind. Okay, the guy was just on TV yesterday asking NSA, no, it wasn't NSA, it was the Homeland Security, What if we injected disinfectant into people? What could that be done? What? Like he's talking to this guy for the first time. Like he's and he's going to cure coronavirus with sun lamps and stuff. Because he uses a sun lamp every day. Anyway, I don't know. So there was that, and another comment he made about that he's gotten calls from hundreds of governors. Like he doesn't even realize that there's only 50 governors in the United States. There's one per state, and he just doesn't know these things. He doesn't know basic, simple things. And people will say to me, well, Ed, that's your hatred of Trump that has you blind, and you have Trump derangement syndrome. I wouldn't hate there's a reason to hate him. There's reasons to hate him, okay? That goes without saying. Many, many reasons. But just reporting what the facts is. The guy was talking about injecting disinfectant into your body. The guy was talking about there being hundreds of governors. Now, these are facts. Whether you like them or you hate them, it's still reality. It's still reality. And you can't get away from that. Now, I got to say, there's all this hysteria now about these states wanting to reopen. And on some level, I can kind of sympathize with the theory, like if you want to stay home and not work, right, and wear a mask and not go to dinner, not go to ball games, you have every right to do that. But why should I be prohibited? If I'm not afraid of catching a disease, why can't I go out and do these things if I want to and interact with other people? And you say, well, that causes the spread. But the thing is, if you look at these statistics and where people are dying and who's dying, it's like 50, 60% are people in nursing homes and then prisons. In one state, 80% of all the deaths are from a prison. And the other one is these meat packing plants, these big factories, where people are then there, huddled up next to each other. So just imagine the conditions, Everyone knows the conditions in prisons in the United States. They're filthy, disgusting places. Bad hygiene, bad nutrition, poor ventilation. Torturous, misery. And these meat packing factories, man, where there's blood and all this people on top of each other, they come out of there, looking like vampires. But just think of the third one, the nursing homes where we put our elderly, that the conditions in there, sure, they're older and weaker, but the conditions in there of hygiene and cleanliness and nutrition are on that level so bad that they're dropping like flies as well. It just makes you think, how we treat each other as human beings, and you'd think it's right now in a crisis like this we'd be more out to help each other and stuff like that. But really, there's a lot of scams going on and cons and, people, deadbeats, galore. I got these guys right now trying to rip me off some money they owe me. Just outrageous. You'd think, if you make an agreement to pay somebody something, and then time comes you pay them. You got to chase them down, really? Hey. That reminds me, too. Oops, let me see if I might have messed this up. I might have screwed up the whole recording. Did I screw up the whole recording? No, we're still recording. Okay. That reminds me of nothing. I'm not going to get this stimulus check, by the way, because I don't get a refund. I don't have taxes taken out of a paycheck. I pay taxes to them. I give them a check. And they don't write down my account number on my check in order to send me money back. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen that way. So I'm not getting any stimulus check. And I applied for both of these SBA loans, the little one and the big one, the paycheck protection. I don't know who that was. Area code 305. Thought I had the sound trying to find out. Turn off the ringer. Can't find it. Screw it. Okay, I applied for both of them, the paycheck protection, and which is like $10,000, and $10,000 max, and then the other one too, which is if you have a small business loan, it's supposedly forgivable if you spend it on certain things. I haven't gotten a dime on either one, and I don't know one person who has. Okay, I'm talking to this new company, and if they can pull it off, I'm gonna put them on the air and I'm gonna hook you up with them. But so far, And I know people politically connected. By the way, Victoria just got a gig down here, working as an intern for a congresswoman down here in Florida, interning over there. And she's got another internship coming up at a radio station over here. So, just a little update on that. So, we got connections, man. We know what we're doing. We're not like the average guy out there. Forget it. So, I don't know anybody's got any money from that SBA or any of this. All that money's getting stolen. As a matter of fact, too, I'll tell you a story. I don't know if I could do, but yeah, if you listen to one of my old shows, I tell you the story about when I was driving car service. I had a problem with these kids, and then I saw them like a week later, and and I chased them down with the crowbar, and then they stole a car, and they were shooting at me, shooting at my car. The cab, I was driving a cab, and the cops came. The cops didn't do anything, and it's a great story if you go back and find it. People love me telling that story because when I tell the story in person, I duck down while I'm driving because I was driving, ducking down with my hand. I was driving with one hand and ducked down, and they rammed me with that car and they shoot at me. Oh my God, what a life! But anyway, you know who that guy is? The guy that shot at me in that car. He's one of those guys from that restaurant chain, Five Guys, Burgers and Fries, from Staten Island. He grew up to be one of those guys. And they got a big, giant, fat stimulus check, Like, they need it more than us, man? Give me a break, man. But again, it's all those connections that people have that grease the wheels and can get them stuff. Hey, you know what's another funny thing going on here, too? I've got to, oh my God. When I started on the radio down here, I'm on WWPR, 1490 AM in Florida now. We're on KCAA in California, KSHP in Las Vegas, and KYAH in Nevada, and Utah. So we got a big 50 states, 50 cities we're covering now. Huge population. And in fact, most of the areas we're in are vacation spots that have tens of millions of people passing through them every year. Vegas alone has 30 million people passing through there. But so does Utah up there, and Zion and St. George, all those touristy areas up there, man. Tens of thousands of people, millions of people every year. Tourists go through there. Florida, you got tourists coming down there. It's spring break, it's crazy. And in California, you got all those tourists going to Disneyland and stuff. So every station I'm on has huge. I think the population we added up one time, there's about 10, about 16 million people in population. But if you add in tourism on top of that, it's like another 30 million people. So great advertising opportunities down here at the Oprum Report. You can't go wrong. And it's so cheap. It's pathetically cheap. My God, I just eke by a can of warm beer every week. That's what I live on. Let's see. Okay, but my dad now can listen to me on the radio. He listens on WWPR, 1490 AM in the Tampa Bay, Florida area. Tampa Bay, Bradenton, and Sarasota. But the signal's huge. It reaches a whole bunch of places. And so every night now he listens at 10 o'clock. And then the next morning he calls me up to tell me what he thinks of the show. What he thinks of it. How did I do? How does he like the guests? Let me give you some advice. Hey, the next time you should ask this. I'd say, but I don't know, man. It's great being close to my dad again. I haven't seen him in 20 years, man. And to be able to see him almost every day whenever I want to. And I'm sure he's driving me crazy and stuff. But it's just great to see my dad, And you want to know what? By the way, this is the dad from the No More Frugal Strudel story. This is what we're talking about. This is the dad from the 50 Years of Raw Onion story. I tricked. He went along with it. We had a Sunday dinner at my sister's house down here, and I brought over apple strudel for dessert. And then my dad started talking about the apple strudel, and he was hammering it up a little bit too. But I videotaped the whole thing. I'm going to put it up on Facebook or something when I get a chance. Okay, we'll be right back with more of these wonderful stories in the Opera Report. And I'm going to be talking to you about news reporting and behind the scenes of news reporting. I've been involved in many, many 24-hour, 24/7 news stories. Tiger Woods, Charlie Sheen, Zimmerman, Wienergate, Sarah Palin, Stormy Daniels. I've been involved in a lot. Epstein, been involved in a lot of stuff. 24-hour news stories. Okay, many, many, many over the years, more than I can imagine. And the people I've worked with or have been involved with even more. So I have a little knowledge about this area.